going on, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel, or welcome if you've not been here before, and thank you for joining me. And this is going to be the first in what is going to be a 4-part series on how to make 2021 your year. So over the next 4 weeks, I'm going to be dropping a new video on a different area of health and fitness, and essentially by the end of this 4 weeks, I'm hoping that you're going to be able to assess each different area of your life, improve it, and help you towards achieving your goals. Now, you will find that a lot of these areas do actually overlap a little bit, so I may talk a little bit about each different area in the different videos, and a lot of what I link it to will be towards fat loss, just because a lot of the clients and the people that I work with are looking to lose body fat, are looking to lose weight, so I will be linking it to that. However, no matter what your goals are, if you do improve these 4 areas of your life, you will see massive health benefits, and it will definitely help you onto achieving your goals. So the 4 areas we're going to talk about over the next 4 weeks is nutrition, exercise, sleep and stress, and finally mindset. So if you find this useful or you find this helpful, then hit the subscribe button, drop me a like, and without further ado, let's get into the first video. So welcome to part 1 of this 4-part series, and today we are going to be talking about nutrition. Now, the reason I wanted to talk about this one first is because I think this is definitely an area that people struggle with the most. Certainly from working with clients, talking to friends, family, it's definitely an area that a lot of people do struggle with, is staying on top of their diet, staying on top of their nutrition. So today we're just going to look at areas that we can improve it and how we can go about making positive changes to our diet to obviously achieve our goals. So if you've seen on my Instagram stories lately, I've been reading this book, Atomic Habits by James Clear, and I'm about 70 pages in and I'm hooked already. It's a really good book. And essentially I highlighted and put it on my story, a little quote, and it said, "The key to behavior change, and it first starts with awareness." And I talk about this loads with my clients, and it's so true, especially when we're talking about nutrition. It's always going to come down to awareness, and the best way to start for anyone is to start with a food diary. Whatever you eat, whatever you drink on a day-to-day basis, just write it down on a piece of paper, write it down in your notes on your phone, wherever you're going to see it most. Create that awareness around what you're eating. If you have no idea what you're eating on a day-to-day basis, then how on earth are you meant to be able to make positive changes to help improve your health or to help you lose body fat? If you're struggling to lose weight, if you're struggling to lose body fat, often you're going to be underestimating how much you're actually eating on a day-to-day basis. Normally, because you're mindlessly eating, normally you're just picking at things. You'll pick at like chocolate, crisp, maybe little things here and there that go completely unnoticed. But if you're doing a food diary and you're writing down everything that you're eating on a day-to-day basis, then you're going to notice when you're actually eating things. You're not going to be mindlessly eating. When you pick something up, you're going to remember that you've got to write that down. So automatically from doing a food diary, you're going to start to make better choices anyway. You'll pick up a bar of chocolate maybe and you'll think, actually, do I really need that? And you might put that down. So already you're going to start making better choices towards your eating habits. So what I suggest is doing a food diary for maybe 7 days. And then at the end of the week, you can look back on what you've eaten and you can make positive changes then the next week. If you're unsure on where to make changes, then drop me a message, drop me a DM. Loads of people ask me all the time, can I have some sort of diet plan? Can I have some sort of nutritional advice? It's very hard for me to give you any sort of advice if there's nothing to go on. If you haven't done a food diary, then I don't really know where to help you. If you come to me and you ask me, oh, what's a good meal for lunch? I'm looking to lose weight. If I was then to say, chicken, rice, maybe some veg, and then you turn around and tell me, oh, I'm actually a vegetarian, already I've given you poor advice because I don't know what you enjoy. I don't know what you like to eat. Whereas if you've done a food diary, I can have a look at your food diary and I can see what your eating habits are, what you eat normally, and then I can make positive changes. Then I can give you some advice. So if you do a food diary and you're a little bit unsure on where to make changes, feel free, drop me a DM, say, look, I've done this food diary for the last 7 days. Can you give me some advice on where I can make changes? And I'll be happy to do that. Just spoke about diet plans, and I get asked so many times, can you do me a diet plan? First of all, I'm a personal trainer. I am not a dietitian, so I actually can't give you a diet plan. I can't write a diet plan for you. And also my opinion on diet plans, really, I don't think, for the majority of people anyway, they don't really work. With a diet plan, I'm not teaching you how to fish, I'm giving you the fish. What you need to do is to be able to learn what changes to make, learn your current habits, and learn how to make positive changes to your diet. That way you're learning actually how to fish, and that way you can always adjust your diet for whatever the goal is. So when I say diet plans, I've got a big X, and then I go across foods that you enjoy. And your normal eating habits are generally going to be foods that you enjoy. Otherwise, you probably wouldn't eat it. So the benefits of doing a food diary, then, you have a list essentially of all the foods that you've been eating over the last week, probably foods that you enjoy. Then you can look at that food diary and go, right, where can I make positive changes here? If you're having 2 takeaways a week, maybe you can do 1. If you're having a chocolate bar every single night, maybe you can have it 5 nights a week. It is these small changes that are going to bring out the positive results down the line. It's not about making huge changes to your diet and hoping that that's going to bring about results. I mean, it will, but if you're making massive changes, then you're going to struggle to stick to it. So the idea is to look at your food diary, look at the patterns and the trends into what you're eating, and then make small changes and go from there. So next up on the board, we've got good versus bad, and then there's a small link to the all or nothing. And essentially what I'm talking about here is having the mindset of good and bad foods. Now, a lot of us will regard maybe chocolate, sweets, crisps, burgers, things like that as quote unquote bad foods, and salads, things like that as good. Now, on the most part, we all know what we should be eating, and essentially what we should be eating more of. We all know that we should be eating healthier foods in terms of salad, more whole foods, and we should be limiting processed foods, takeaways, things like that. Having this good or bad mentality is dangerous, and it links to the all or nothing, because what will happen is maybe during the week we'll eat good and we'll eat clean, essentially. So we'll eat salads, we'll eat protein, and we'll get all the foods in that we think is good. And then maybe we get to the weekend or we get to a Friday and we'll maybe have a takeaway. And what we think in our mindset is that we've messed up because we've eaten a bad food. And then what we do is then continue to mess up. We continue to eat bad food over the weekend. We continue to eat chocolates. We continue to eat crisps, and we overeat on all these things and go, it's fine, I'll start on Monday. And then we go back into that cycle again of restricting during the week, binging on the weekend, because we get into that mindset again of, I'm not going to have this bad food for a little while now, so I'm going to make the most of it now. I'm going to eat as much of it as I can now, because on Monday I'm going to stop eating it and I'm going to completely restrict it from my diet. Whereas if you just had a little bit throughout the week, or if you had a little chocolate bar here and there and satisfied that craving, and that's absolutely fine. I find it much easier to stick to a diet that you enjoy, that includes, chocolate, crisps, things that you enjoy, rather than restricting throughout the week. I've got an arrow over to 80-20 there. So what I mean by that is 80% good, whole, quality foods, 20%, more fun foods, chocolate, sweets, crisps, things that are maybe a little bit more processed. Having them in moderation is absolutely fine. You can have a beer with dinner. You can have a pudding, absolutely fine. What you want to be able to do is just weigh up when you can and when you can't. Some people, having a chocolate bar every single night is absolutely fine. And if they're happy doing that, and you go and you look at your food diary and you go, yeah, I'm having a chocolate bar every night, but I'm happy with where I'm at, then that's great. If you're someone that does want to lose weight and does want to lose body fat, and you're having a chocolate bar every single night, then maybe that's an area that you can address. Maybe you can go 5 nights a week. And finally, we got fast results. honestly, I don't understand it, why you're trying to go so fast. Maybe you've got a wedding and you've got 8 weeks to get to a certain weight. Look, in 8 weeks, you can make a lot of progress, but you're probably not going to get to where you want to be in that time. And time is going to pass you by anyway. So you might as well start making a change to these habits, start making good positive changes to your behaviors, because a year is 365 days. That time is going to go past whatever happens. Whether you decide to make changes to your diet, whether you start to try and make positive changes to the habits around your eating and things like that, or whether you don't, in a year's time, you're either going to be closer to your goal or in the exact same place or further away. The key to nutrition is making sure it's sustainable. By including foods that you enjoy, including the treats every now and then, and having those things in moderation, it's going to be a hell of a lot easier to stick to than if you try and go for fast results and being super restrictive and then ending up binging and things like that. So to summarize, the main things when it comes to nutrition is it always starts with awareness. So start with a food diary. Write down every single thing that you eat and drink on a day-to-day basis. Do it for 7 days. What you'll find over those 7 days, you'll naturally start to make better choices with your food because you're becoming more aware of it. Then at the end of the 7 days, you can look back and go, right, okay, where can I make changes? Where can I make improvements to this diet? If you're not sure, feel free to drop me a message. Say, look, I've done this 7-day food diary. Can you have a look at it for me? Absolutely fine. Not a problem. That was my belly. Oh, my stomach's rumbling. I'm talking about nutrition. That's great. That's perfect timing. The thing about your diet when it comes to creating a diet that's going to help you achieve your goals is that you enjoy it. So you have to include foods that you enjoy. So if you do like chocolate, if you do like crisps, include it. Have it every now and then. By including it, it's going to be way more enjoyable and you're going to feel like you can stick to it for a much longer time. And that is the key. And remember, if you do go off track with your diet, just get back on track again as soon as you can. Don't use it as an excuse to continually fucking up. Don't keep messing up because you had a curry or you had a takeaway, you had a Chinese, you had a big slice of cake. Whatever happened, just get back on track as soon as you can, and then you'll be absolutely fine. Like I said, if you found this video helpful, drop it a like, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you next week for part 2. Peace.